Really? Why do we bother? Why do we even bother? I'm talking about speaking on women issues. Speaking about women. Why do we bother? Welcome to the MLC, that is the Mr. Limba channel. This is your host and your brother, Mr. Limba. A channel for men. I oftentimes talk about women. But why do we bother? We look across YouTube and other social media platforms, and men talk about women. But why? Why is it so important? Why do we bother? I plan to address that today. I think it is important that we know, why do we speak about women, whether it is consciously that we do so or subconsciously that we feel an urge to speak about women. Is it just the problems that we face? We need to figure this out. Why do we bother? After all, most of the women are not listening anyway. Most of them are not taking heed to any warnings. They're not taking any deals. They're not going to become more lenient. They're not trying to understand. So why do we bother? Why do brothers go through the phase of trying not to be doxxed on YouTube, but would still risk talking about women, even though they hold high-end careers that if their identities were to be shown, it could have probably ruined their livelihoods? Why do we bother? Why do we bother when some brothers actually monetize their channels and they get their channels taken down for speaking the truth and trying to repair the problem between men and women? Why do we bother? Well, I will tell you why I bother. I bother because it is one of our strengths and one of our weaknesses. Generally, men tend to have three major strengths that they strive to obtain and three major weaknesses that can get them at any time, no matter how wise they are, how savvy, how strong. There's an old saying, everyone has a price. Sometimes a man's price can have him abandon his morals, his family, his country, his fellow military men. Power, having the status, boosting the ego can oftentimes get to a man's head, causing him to do things that are out of character, that need to command presence when he step into a room, that need to make everyone feel that he is the man, all eyes on me, is a strength, but often can be a weakness in boosting his ego too high or causing him to do things that are immoral in order to obtain such power, or making himself vulnerable, not realizing that the offer of power is nothing more than a trap so his enemies may draw him out and catch him and seize him. And the third one, which we are speaking about right now, is women. Women is a strength. Women amplifies everything a man does. A woman can make a man great. A man who's already great can become greater with a good wife. But a bad woman can destroy everything a man has ever worked for overnight. If you don't believe me, just take a look around us. Look at modern society, especially Western modern society. I say this because I have dated women from Europe, and though they're not American, that Western behavior could be quite detrimental. Now, I do believe it is worse in the United States of America. But women, yes, women can be a major strength and a major weakness. That is why, unfortunately, I bother. I bother not because I believe they're listening, because we know they're not. I've said it before. I bother because I know the men are listening. The men feel these pains. We understand these pains, my brothers. We go through them. We lose our children. We watch them being raised in a very incompetent way, and there is not much we can say. That is why I bother. Now, that is not the only thing I wish to do, and that is not the only thing I will do on this channel. But I just wanted to spread light and try to see if we could define as men, why do we take on to social media and talk about women? Why do we even bother? There are other things we can speak on. But why do we bother with the women? Because with women, men have gone to war for women. Men have destroyed villages for women. Men have betrayed their own blood brothers for women. Even if we are those who are wiser and more red pill, we still strive to obtain a good woman by our side. Why do I bother? The answer is simple. I bother because it is one of our weaknesses. I bother because it is the backbone of our people, and it is the advancement of our people that is hanging off a cliff called the gender war. The so-called gender war. God and nature gave us man and woman. We need the two. They are vital. They are very important. The woman can amplify everything a man is doing, make it greater. I mentioned that in my first video dissecting the black women issue. But a woman can also become very detrimental to anything that a man is doing if he is not careful and she is a bad woman. Don't believe me? Just look at the results of the black community. Relationships have single-handedly destroyed the black community. See, violence and drugs, for example, have always been a factor. Racism has always been a factor. Education problems have always been a factor. But the black family have stood strong. As feminism and welfare were introduced, and it was no longer about the black family, but the black man versus the black woman. Every single problem that the black community previously faced amplified. I talk about women because men, we look for women. No matter how Mgtow we may be, no matter how Ibmor we may be, most of us prefer to leave the country if necessary, leave the hemisphere in order to be in the bosom of the feminine energy. No matter how red pill we are, we wish to extend our lineage through a woman. The feminine energy is often required of us. We require it, to say that more clearly. I talk about women because women can be our downfall, and they have been our downfall. They have been our child support. They have been the causes of effeminate black men raised without fathers. They have pushed many solid black men away, even those who were not the father of the child, who stepped in and wanted to be a father. If he stepped in at an age that was too early in the child's life, the law, at least in the States, may require that man still pays child support even though he is not the biological father. But she will still push him away and not realize what he's doing for her and for that child financially, and what he was doing in the sense of masculine presence, masculine energy, protection, and provision. I know our sisters are not listening. We see the comments, we see the flaggings, we see the fighting words, we see the videos that they put up in the channels that they make. But since humanity must move forward with both masculine and feminine, that is why, unfortunately, I at least can say I speak about women. Now, I've said before, my channel will not only speak about women, and soon I'm going to dive into the spiritual, into the metaphysics, and teach you guys on a deeper level to give you better understanding and clarity. But why? Why do we bother? Well, this is why I bother. I bother because women was designed to be a strength to man, a helper, a very important component of the household. And it is one, no matter how much of a Mgtow monk some of us become, we oftentimes find ourselves in her bosom. If myself and my brothers will deal with women, even if it is not as often as we would normally do if our women were more submissive and feminine, we need to still be careful, because at the end of the day, we are still interacting with them. We still crave them. We still want them, no matter what race that they may be. So we need to be careful. We need to be wise. And that is why, unfortunately, channels like mine have a heavy teaching on women. Now, you guys who follow me know that I oftentimes speak about politics. I speak about economy, and those things I wish to speak about more in the future. I'm going to introduce metaphysics very soon and teach you guys some secrets. But all of that will crumble. All of that will collapse the minute one of us become one with a wicked woman. Your money will fall. Your political knowledge will be useless. Your knowledge of the spiritual will become dull, because you will starve the spirit in order to feed the physical, in order to feed your flesh as she chips away at both your flesh and your soul. I don't want to sound negative, but I just wanted to make it clear, at least on my channel, why sometimes I make so many videos that speak about women. Stay tuned for more videos. I'm out.